Hi, boys and girls. All right, so our next walk is the walk that I did that was slow and then fast, with me starting at the 8 meter card and then walking back to the 0 meter card. All right, so I started off very slowly and then I went much more quickly. All right, and now we have our data table. Let's just simply take this data table and turn it into ordered pairs coordinates. All right. So at the beginning of this graph, I was not at the 0 card. I was at the 8 meter card, but the time hadn't started yet. So 0 seconds, I was at the 8 meter card. All right. And then at 7 seconds, no, at 6 seconds, I was at the 7 meter card. 10 seconds, I was at the 6 meter card. 12 seconds, I was at the 5 meter card. At 14 seconds, I was at the 4 meter card. At 14.5 seconds, I was at the 3 meter card. At 15 seconds, I was at the 2 meter card. At 16 seconds, I was at the 1 meter card. And 16.5, I was at the 0 meter card. All right, and now let's see what this graph chart looks like when we're changing our speed, going slowly and then quickly, but this time starting from the 8 meter card rather than the 0 meter card. All right, so the first point then, remember that we always graph the time first and then the distance. We're going 0 time, so we're staying right on the 0 line, but then I'm starting at the 8 meter card. So when 0 time had passed, I was starting at 8 meters. When 6 seconds had passed, we got to grow all the way out to 6 and climb up to 7. When 6 seconds had passed, I was at the 7 meter card. When 10 seconds had passed, I was at the 6 meter card. All right, when 12 seconds had passed, I was at the 5 meter card. All right. When 14 seconds had passed, I was at the 4 meter card. When 14.5 seconds had passed, I was at the 3 meter card. When 15 seconds had passed, I was at the 2 meter card. When 16 seconds had passed, I was at the 1 meter card, and when 16.5 seconds had passed, I was back at 0. So, do you see how it made a little bit of a curve this time? All right, it's not as perfect as some of the other ones, but let's just connect it. I'll make a general trajectory of it. Right, there's one little outlier where I think I went a little faster or something like that. But the main thing is this: I went slow and then I went fast. Remember that a fast diagonal is very steep, and a slow diagonal is pretty flat, and a stop is a horizontal line, right? So keeping in mind that the flat horizontal, helps you remember that a little bit of a slope is a slow speed because it's not that far off from stop. Slow, stop, slow, stop. And a very steep diagonal lets you know that you're going fast because it's very far away from a stop. Woo, right? That's fast, that's stopped, that's slow. All right, so now remember that the trick to finding out if you're increasing or decreasing speed is to circle the back third and decide if your diagonal portion here, is it flatter or is it steeper? Right? And then if you're not sure, because like this one is pretty steep, but not that bad, then what you do is go back and look over here at the first part, and that's definitely pretty flat. So plus on this time, I know because it went slow then fast. But you can see that at the end of this one, it's steeper, which means the speed is getting faster or increasing speed. Now, why does this graph look different than the other increasing speed? Let's go take a peek at it. All right. This was the increasing speed starting from 0, going slowly, and then getting fast. The only difference is that this one started away from the 0 point. It's still flat and then gets steeper for fast. It's all a matter of where you start, whether you get the upward curve or whether you get the downward curve. And that's why it doesn't really matter either way. You can just tell whether it's increasing or decreasing by just circling the back of it and looking to see if it's a fast, steep diagonal at the end of the curve or if it's a flat, slow diagonal at the end of the curve. Because when you slow down on a graph, your graph flattens out. Notice how it's kind of flat to start, right? And this isn't slowing down. This is getting faster and getting steeper. All right, we have one more graph to graph today, and I'm so excited. Yay. All right.